Hi, folks. This is Alan Tyson, along with my favorite sidekick, Jenna Babe, the Sweet Babe. Now, I know many of you have seen the video of Vince Lombardi screaming at his defense, "Nobody tackling out there, everybody grabbing." Well, unfortunately, that's exactly what he would have been screaming at our defense last Saturday at Evans Family Field. One of the best gin players I ever played against, who also happens to be a two-time national champion head coach, a college football Hall of Famer, and has his name up on the facade of the home side press box at Paulson Stadium, used to say, to win consistently, you have to be able to run the ball and stop the other team from running it. Well, I got some good news and I got some bad news. Now, Coach Russell used to say they always want the bad news first. So here we go. In case you were on a different planet or didn't notice, our defense did not do very good on stopping the run last week, giving up 371 net yards and 7 touchdowns on the ground. 2 of those came from outside 70 yards, another from 38 yards, and 1 from 26 yards. By the way, the Steeds from Spud City averaged 10.6 yards per carry on the day. Well, here's the good news. Our offense scored 4 of their 6 touchdowns via the rush, averaging 4 yards per carry in the process. It was a performance that, though not great, was enough to open up our passing game to the point where we put up 322 yards through the air, reaching pay dirt 2 times and averaging 11.5 yards per catch with no interceptions. Folks, we put up 45 points against arguably the best team in the G5, and frankly, that should have been enough to get the dub. This game, in my opinion, though they gashed us all day with maybe the best running back in the country, came down to 3 big plays. What appeared to be a fumble by their big tight end, recovered by us, was called an incomplete pass on the field and could not be overturned on replay. After that, Boise scored on the next play from scrimmage. That play turned out to be at least a 7-point swing and more likely a 10 to 14-point swing. Then there were 2 pass plays, both in the fourth quarter, that we failed to execute, both of which would have resulted in big gains and continued possession. But instead, one led to a punt, the other to turning the ball over on downs. Unfortunately, Boise scored on both the possessions that followed, putting the game out of reach. Sports fans, we have only played 60 minutes of the 840 we hope to play before season's end. There is definitely no need to panic. We have an offense that has already proved that they can put it in the end zone quickly and frequently. I am confident our defensive staff and players have been working all week to get whatever schematically and fundamentally needed to be fixed. If they have, and I have no doubt that they have, we may just be on to something for the remainder of the year. Got to get them on the ground, Big Blue.
Hey y'all, it's Jenna here to take a quick break and tell you about our amazing podcast sponsor, you guessed it, Sully Steamers of Statesboro. Though our family is partial, there is no denying that the crowd has gone wild for Sully's ooey gooey steamed bagel sandwiches. Are you Team Sully's yet? Well, whether you are a regular like me or are looking for the perfect first steamer to try, might we suggest this week's Sandwich Spotlight, the Griswold. Okay, y'all buckle up because this classic comes ready to play. On this steamer, which, by the way, is a Sully's fan favorite, you'll find turkey, bacon, barbecue sauce, provolone, and pepper jack cheese, all topped with Sully's famous Parmesan peppercorn. It's served hot and steamy, of course, on your choice of fresh, delicious bagel. We can't wait for you to get after that Griswold or any of the other delicious steamers on the menu. Go visit the Sully's team in-store located at 1098 Bermuda Run Road in the Market District. You can order online or go through the Sully's app for pickup or delivery, or better yet, instantly make everyone your biggest fan by having Sully's cater your tailgate, parties, or events this season and all year long. Go Sully's, go Eagles, and now back to AT.
As for today, our Eagles will be playing a team from the Mountain West Conference for the second week in a row as they've traveled west of the Mississippi River to the Silver State to take on Nevada in the third meeting between the two schools, the first in the regular season. Our Birds hold a 2-0 lead in the series, both wins coming in the 1AA playoffs, first in 1986 semifinal game in Reno, and then in 1990 we won the national championship against this troop from the Truckee River Valley, right here in friendly confines of Paulson Stadium. The Wolfpack, who are coming off back-to-back 2-10 seasons, have played pretty well so far in 2024, losing to SMU in Week 1 at home by a score of 29-24, before topping the men of Troy on the road in a close one last week, 28-26. The Don Juans, from the divorce capital of the world, like to run a little more than they like to pass in their first two games. None of their stats on either side of the ball really jump out at you, though. They are averaging 181 yards a game running it and 164 yards passing it. 3 of their 7 total touchdowns have come via the rush, the other 4 through the air. Conversely, they have held their opponents to an average of 145 yards per game on the ground, but they have given up 509 total yards passing in the first 120 minutes of the season. Frankly, I almost fell asleep looking at these numbers. What we all, including me, really want to know is what's going to happen when we tee that thing up today in the town where blue jeans were discovered in 1872. Folks, I truly believe that Coach Helton and his staff are doing everything in their power to make Georgia Southern football great again. And they are doing it the right way. When you do right, sooner or later, good things are going to happen. Of the 11 games we have left on our regular season schedule, 10 are very winnable for our men in blue, and it starts today in the biggest little city in the world. Eagle Nation, I look for our bluebirds of prey to strike early and often in this one. If our feathered defenders can patch up a few leaks in our front seven and take better angles of pursuit on the back end, we will shut down the Wolfpack's ground game and force them to pass when we know it's coming. Man, I'm already fired up to see what this team can do when they put it together on both sides of the ball en route to their first win of the season. Open up a can on this crowd of coyotes from the Washoe County seat, Eagles.